Hey yo, but for reals, like what is going on in the boxing world, y'all? Like the British Boxing Board of Control and Matchroom were just notified by VADA that Robert Helenius, the Nordic Nightmare, popped hot. And this is for samples that were taken just before his most recent fight with Anthony Joshua. The boxing world is on some scandal, y'all. I don't even know what to say about that. But anyway, since we're on the subject of PED users, the son of the Dark Destroyer Nigel Benn, Conor Benn, is rumored to be in fight negotiations with Blair The Flair Cobbs. We got a lot to talk about, folks. So let's take this all back to the lab, and you know the deal. Let's chop it up.
I hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, family? It's your boy Hot Boxing Minute. Back at you with that uncut realness as only I can give it to you. It was a bit of a slow day yesterday in the world of boxing. No real big news breaking. And usually when that happens, something big happens the next day. And sure enough, something happened. Robert Helenius, aka the Nordic Nightmare. This man right here in the picture I'm showing you tested positive for a banned substance. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, you know, get the booze out. He deserves all the booze in the world. Robert Helenius, the Nordic Nightmare, the man who just got off of being knocked out by Anthony Joshua on August 12th. He had a win before that, like a week before he fought Anthony Joshua, because he came in as a last-minute replacement for Dillian Whyte. And Dillian Whyte had already popped hot. Now, I'm not one to run with conspiracies, but there's clearly something going on over there. Not clearly. I don't want to insinuate anything's going on, right? But Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, good old Eddie boy, there seems to be a pattern, to say the least. First, you had Dillian Whyte. Couldn't find a B sample. I don't even know what happened to those findings. And then you had Conor Benn. You had Alicia Baumgartner. And now you've got your guy here, the Nordic Nightmare. And it's an unbelievable affair. The British Boxing Board of Control, or I'm sorry, VADA, Matchroom released a statement because VADA had essentially contacted all the necessary parties involved. And let me see if I can make this bigger. All right. So this was the official statement released by Matchroom. And it said, today, the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, VADA, has informed Matchroom and the British Boxing Board of Control that Robert Helenius has returned an adverse analytical finding as part of a random anti-doping protocol. Helenius was voluntarily tested on Friday, August 11th, before the heavyweight fighter's defeat by Anthony Joshua in London on Saturday, August 12th. The result was made known to Matchroom today. Oh yeah, nah. We booing that one. We want. There you go. Boo this man. Boo this man. You know, I don't know what to say. I'm not one to really be a virtue signaler, but it can't be good for the future of boxing. Look, people test positive all the time in all sports. It's difficult because I'm not an elite world level athlete, but it isn't difficult for me to try to step myself inside their head to try to imagine what it's like to be in a fiercely competitive field, boxing, MMA, football, basketball, whatever sport have you. And you're seeing these athletes that you know they're juicing to the gills. They're doing something, clearly. And some make that decision to use. And it was Robert Helenius' turn to get popped hot. And in commemoration of Robert Helenius popping hot, I guess we might as well show some clips of him getting knocked the hell out, because oddly enough, it's a damn shame. If you're going to cheat and you cheat and still lose, I don't know what to say. But either way, Robert Helenius, apparently, from what I understand with PED use, it doesn't help your chin. If you got a glass chin, it doesn't matter. And it's stuff like...
And there's a huge right hand. Down goes Helenius.
Oh my goodness. Wait, it gets better. Anthony Joshua also
is not a mug.
You know, there's no one more round of booze. One more round of booze for your boy. Yes, he deserves every bit of the condemnation for popping hot. He does. Maybe he just doesn't have the money. to afford good legal defense. I don't know how these things work, but at some point, like, you got to imagine boxing fans. It's a sport where we as boxing fans want to see palpable violence played out on a grand stage. And sometimes people get hurt. If somebody dies in that ring and they tested positive, it's all bad. It's all bad. Like, you'll get government intervention. Who knows what the possible end result will be if somebody dies in that ring? Can you imagine? And in the case of his most recent fight with Anthony Joshua, those results did not come out to the general public until after the fight. The same thing with Alicia Baumgardner. Alicia Baumgardner tested days before her most recent fight with Christina Lina Dartu. You can check the video I did on that. I think it was about a week ago. And the same result happened. We didn't even find out about those results until like about a week ago. And when was that Lina Dartu fight? That was weeks ago. So they're letting people fight. And there's a lot of information out there and misinformation out there as far as when people test, what the testing window is, what are metabolites able to get scanned into your system or able to be detected, how long should samples sit, how well are samples being handled. It's a total mess. You got Frank Warren hurling accusations at Eddie Hearn, suggesting that Eddie Hearn might have done inside jobs to samples by Alicia Baumgardner because Alicia Baumgardner was in her last fight of her contract with Matchroom. There's no real concrete evidence of any situation of that kind happening. And then you got Victor Conte, the former face of steroid use in American sports, a la Balco. Some of those of you might remember who follow sports in the 90s and early 2000s, the Balco investigation, which, if I'm not mistaken, it linked like Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, Evander Holyfield, Sugar Shane Mosley, and now he runs Snack Nutrition. You might have seen fighters like Caleb Plant, fighters like the Dream, Devin the Dream Haney, all working with Victor Conte. So now Victor Conte, who used to be the poster child for running a steroid pumping operation, is now apparently the voice of reason, and he's the constant consultant that you always see on ESPN whenever a new fighter pops hot. I'm not sure how we all of a sudden came to the point where we trust him as our number one source for all news on popping hot with steroids, but hey, it is what it is. Who am I to judge if a person's heart has changed or not after serving some federal time? I don't know, folks. I don't know. But well, I guess we're going to find out soon enough what happens to Robert Helenius. I'm not sure how these situations work. Apparently, it's different for different people, you know? So we haven't heard anything as far as what kind of punishment Alicia Baumgardner is going to receive, if any. Zolani Tete, he just got banned for 4 years. We saw this thing going on with Conor Benn. He was suspended, and then now his suspension is in a state of investigation. Man, it beats me. So many fighters are popping hot. I got this tweet that my man Rob the Boxing Shrew posted up. So let me see if I can put this up on the Jumbotron so y'all can see what I'm looking at. My man was kind enough to let us know what was going on. I can enlarge that. There you go. Let's make it even larger. So my man Rob the Boxing Shrew, he's big on Twitter, always involved in all the latest boxing politics. My man stays up on the game. He was kind enough to make a list of the notable fighters in the last few years that have popped hot. And this list is extensive. Canelo Alvarez, that was clenbuterol. Tyson Fury, that was nandrolone. Alicia Baumgardner, that was a couple of drugs I can't even pronounce. Dillian White, Conor Benn, clomiphene, Luis Ortiz, Jarrell Miller, he was on all kinds of drugs. Kid Galahad, Robert Helenius, Lucas Brown. It didn't include Zolani Tete. It didn't include Oscar Valdez. You know, it's clearly a problem in boxing. Make no mistake about this, folks. There's no need to paint an inaccurate picture of what's going on as far as steroid use and performance-enhancing drugs. It is in all of professional sports, folks. And if you don't believe that, I've got a beach house in Idaho. I would love to sell you. I don't know what the end result is going to be of Robert Helenius' adverse findings. He is 39 years old. He got knocked out a couple of times. I guess it's pretty much common knowledge now that he has a glass chin, So as it stands, his professional record is 32-5. I don't really see him anytime soon contesting for a championship. Maybe he'll be a journeyman. He's probably going to get suspended for a lengthy period of time. But in the heavyweight division, in theory, I guess you can't fight until you're 40, 41, 42. George Foreman did it and became a world champion at 45. We'll find out. I'll keep you posted as we get more updates on that situation. But, since we're here, let me show you a tidbit of trivia. Boxing fans might like this one. I made this little PDF and I figured I'd show it to you. You're probably thinking, why is there a picture of Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko, and Oscar De La Hoya on my screen? What do they have in common aside from being unified champions, right? Well, it just so happens that all three of them had wins against PED cheats, and I thought it'd be interesting to show their image. Oscar De La Hoya, of course, fought Sugar Shane Mosley, caught that L against a PED cheat. You had Vladimir Klitschko. Actually, sorry, not Sugar Shane Mosley. He lost to Sugar Shane Mosley. He beat Francisco Vargas. And then you have Vladimir Klitschko. He fought Medius Watch, and Medius Watch tested positive. Still got beat. Anthony Joshua just recently beat the steroid cheat. I guess they call him a steroid cheat. Maybe the investigation will reveal something different. I highly doubt that. But yeah, those are the three people who have beaten steroid cheats. So as you can imagine, it's probably an unusual feeling when you're cheating, taking steroids, and you still get your ass whooped. Like, there's no coming back from that. There is no coming back from that. So I'm going to move away from that subject because it's just depressing to think about. It really is. And the one thing that is now on the radar is Conor Benn and rumors around the rumor mill about a potential matchup between Conor Benn and Blair The Flair Cobbs. Now, this was on the Boxing Voice. Nestor Gibbs dropped the hint and the clue, and he pretty much said it's going down. It has not been officially announced yet, so emphasis on that. But he said that they were thinking about having that fight between Conor Benn and Blair The Flair Cobbs on that card in October in Orlando, Florida. That's going to be headlined by Richardson Hitchens and Chon Zepeda. That's a really good card, by the way, just to let you know. But this is a fun matchup. We got a PED cheater guy with the clomiphene stuff. I guess, I don't know if you can use the word cheater. I don't know, folks. Whatever adjective you want to add to how you would want to describe Conor Benn. He popped hot for clomiphene. He tried to say it was fertility drugs that his girl was taking or something to that effect, or that he was taking. I don't know. I didn't research it too much, but apparently he is not allowed to practice boxing in the United Kingdom, but he does have a license to box in the United States of America. Oh, give it up for the good old US of A. Yeah, pretty good, buddy. The polarizing character from out of, I believe he still trains with Freddie Roach out there at Wildcard Gym. Blair The Flair Cobbs, his last fight was about a year ago. It was last August against, if I'm not mistaken, it was Mighty Mo Hooker. Just before that, he caught a stoppage loss against the potential title contender, Alexis Rocha. Alexis Rocha is a tough dude. You got Blair The Flair Cobbs, you got Conor Benn. I think it's a fascinating matchup. You know, you got two guys who have a whole lot of power. Blair The Flair Cobbs started a little bit late in the boxing game. I believe he was 20 when he started, but he's got a lot of athleticism. He's very tenacious, very stubborn. Of course, you know, Conor Benn training out there with Tony Sims in the UK. He's in the same stable as Joe Cordina, if I'm not mistaken. And who else was in his stable? Goodness, I'm forgetting. That's the first name I can remember. Joe Cordina is in the same stable. I want to say Chris Billiam Smith, but don't quote me on that one. But I know he's in there with some talented hitters. And he, of course, has knockout power. His last fight was, I think, last April. I think that was April of last year. So it's been over a year. He got that stoppage over Chris Van Heerden. So you got two guys coming off wins who haven't fought in over a year, and they're thinking about putting them onto this card here, which is a fun stack card. I'll definitely go into more details about this card as the date approaches. You got Richardson Hitchens fighting Chon Zepeda in the 140-pound division. Chon Zepeda, of course, the heavy hitter who just recently lost his WBC 140-pound junior welterweight strap to Regis Prograis. Regardless, Chon Zepeda is always a fun fight. He's a hitter. Richardson Hitchens is a very well-schooled boxer. This is a fun matchup. You've also got on that card Ammo Williams against Steve Rolls. You got Jessica McCaskill fighting Sandy Ryan. I alluded to this in a video earlier this week, that Jessica McCaskill and Sandy Ryan, because Jessica McCaskill dropped that comment on the Boxing Voice podcast live on air about how she felt that Alicia Baumgartner's adverse findings were the result of some kind of conspiracy concocted by Eddie Hearn because Alicia Baumgartner doesn't want to re-sign and she's only got one fight left on her contract. Either way, that's some slander lawsuit material. But Jessica McCaskill and Sandy Ryan should prove to be an interesting fight. Boxing community, what do you think about a potential fight between Conor Benn and Blair The Flair Cobbs? And what are your thoughts on Robert Helenius popping hot? Let me know in the comments section. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Hit that follow if you're not already following. You know what time it is and you know who this is, folks. This is Hot Boxing Minute, the future of boxing analysis on this chintzy ass platform. Peace.